And he looks at me with this newfound calm in his eyes, and he says to me, "Why am I not scared anymore, Dan?" But here's the fucked up part. I never told the guy my name. There's no way in hell I told the guy my name. But he looked at me with this absolute calm and confidence and said, "Why am I not scared anymore, Dan?" And I don't even remember how I answered, but what I do remember is I just reached my hand in my pocket. I remember having 320s on me. I gave it to him, and I said to him, "You're going to walk that way. I'm going to walk the opposite way, and your life is never going to be the same again." And I remember saying to him, "And I have a feeling that mine won't either." So he hugs me, and I'll never forget, he's hugging me tight. And you know when you're hugging someone, like their mouth is kind of like right by your ear, right? And I just remember him saying, "Thank you, Dan, thank you, Dan, thank you, Dan, thank you, Dan," over and over and over again. So we went our separate ways. My two employees are kind of, they're there, but they're kind of off to the side watching all this shit go down. So they asked me, "Well, what was that about?" And I said, "Just let me process this." But I did say, "Boys, I don't know what God is, but whatever the fuck it is, I just experienced it right there." So we walked for a bit downtown Van, and then I finally kind of had processed what had happened. So there's this kind of like a back alley with a little bench. Kind of looked inviting, so I'm like, let's kind of pull off to the side here, boys, and I'll tell you what went down. So we're all standing in a circle. So anybody that would have walked up, we could have seen, right? So I'm telling them about what happened. And in the middle of the conversation, I just happened to kind of like look over to my shoulder, and I do that, and the fucking guy is back there. Out of nowhere. Literally out of nowhere, like right, and like uncomfortably close, okay? Right there. And my guys didn't see him walk up, because he didn't walk up. He literally somehow appeared. And all he does was, again, calm as fuck, he just puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "I just wanted to say thank you again." He just walks off. So my events manager literally starts bawling, because he called it a spiritual kick in the nuts. Because there's no explanation. He literally just appeared right behind me. So he starts bawling. My business manager was more kind of used to this kind of stuff, but it still kind of shook him, but he kind of walked off by himself. We all separated. We had to. I walked off shaking my head, just what had happened, and you can feel it. There was something that just happened, and it was overwhelming, and it was beyond this world. And a month later, that's when I was at Earl's. I was with a good friend of mine. We had been there like maybe a few weeks before, and we saw this lady who was our waitress the last time. So we called her over, he said hi again, and she's chatting it up with us. And I had remembered that she had mentioned that her father was a retired police officer, because so was mine. So I happened to ask her, "Hey, how's your retired cop dad doing?" And she kind of stopped. She's like, "Oh, shit, I'm sorry, I guess I didn't mention it last time. My dad's been dead for a few years." So I felt like a dick, and I'm like, "I'm sorry." She goes, "No, of course, you didn't know." So she keeps talking to my friend, and then as she's talking, I keep hearing this, much like the Michael, I start hearing Richard. And so it's like someone like smacked me in the back of the head, and I had to blurt out, I'm like, "Who's Richard?" And she goes, "That's my dad's name." And as she validated that, I started to get a vision in my mind's eye, third eye, whatever you want to give, or whatever name you want to give to it. And I'm explaining what he looks like, and she says, "Yeah, that's him." I don't remember everything that he said as far as messages for her, but the one thing that really stood out to me was that he apologized for being so strict. And right away, she's like, "Yeah, he was pretty hardcore." And the only other thing that I remember that really rocked her was that he showed me an image of a car with a big bow on it. So I mentioned that, and she's like, "Oh my God, my mom literally just gave me a car for my birthday a couple days ago." So then she just breaks down. She's like, "You're scaring the shit out of me." And I had to try and lighten the load, and I was being honest. I'm like, "Well, you're saying I'm scaring the shit out of you? I'm talking to your dead fucking dad right now, right?" Didn't break the tension though.